And then I have compiled some questions between myself and Johan. If there's, and then we will handle that. And after that, if there's any more questions, then you guys, we can do it from that side. All right. Let me just check. Johan, I'm going to make you co-host. Just help me with the things that we have to check and everything.
Thanks, George.
Okay, Johan, you can't see him on the call. I don't see him, hey?
No, he's not on yet, George.
Okay, let me just send him a WhatsApp and see what's happening.
George, is there audio?
Say again?
No, okay, I just wanted to see if there was audio. Okay.
Okay, no, it's 100%. I just sent him a WhatsApp.
How are you? Eh?
Okay, George, hy is op nou.
I say op. Hi, Johan, can you ons hoor?
Môre, môre.
Morning, guys.
Jammer ek is so 'n minuut of 2 laat, maar ons krag het so pas aangegaan. So
yeah, 100%. Okay, guys, I'm going to start. Just morning to everybody and a special welcome to Johan Kruger. Or Kruger, ek moet jy's Afrikaanse Kruger, nee.
Ja, is korrek, ja.
Baie van die mense is Afrikaans. There's a lot of people Afrikaans on the call, so Johan Kruger from head office, and awesome thanks, Johan, for taking time out to join us on the webinar. We know it takes time out of your busy schedule, and this is greatly appreciated. Johan, before I start, I would like to, and I think it comes from the whole team, I would just like to convey our thanks to Johan Steinberg for this opportunity in MTI. I know it has changed many lives in our team, and our biggest wish is that the system must not change because it's working. So that is our biggest wish from, and I think that comes from everybody. I have compiled some questions, Johan, but for that as the team concerned, there's a lot of people concerned about a lot of stuff. I'm not a very much concerned about stuff. I know it's just the way stuff goes. But by way of introduction, I would like you just to tell us about yourself. Where do you come from? And where do you see MTI in the next 5 years? I know you've been a trader for some time, and I've listened to other webinars with you and Johan Steinberg and those guys, so I know a little bit about your background, but a lot of the people on the call yet does not know that. So by means of introduction, will you please take it away? Thanks, Johan.
Thank you, George. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity, guys, to actually be with you guys on this call. Yeah, my life has been a roller coaster of different, what can we call it, professions. Because I never thought of becoming or focusing, or not even focusing, just being one person in my life, because my dad always says, if you find something to do with your hand, do it. And so I became a butcher and a full-time musician and an IT specialist and investment specialist. And yeah, it just went on from there. So I tried to every at least 5 to 7 years change my profession because that gives me a little more scope in life. Now, starting from a legal point of view and from a legal background, and then moving into being a musician for about 7 years, and in the same time I had a couple of butcheries and restaurants that I was managing. And so for me, it's always about what is the next thing that can keep us going for the next 5 to 7 years as economies change. And in 2014, I started my own company. You can see in the background there, Gold Save as well, to teach people how to save in something that they can control. Because we all know that pension funds and that type of thing is not, you cannot trust these type of things because they are in control of somebody else. And that's when I became a full-time investor, only focusing on investments. So when MTI came along, I became a Forex trader about 4 years ago, a professional Forex trader. And I was doing very well. But as Forex goes, you've got high potential days and high risk days. And on those high risk days, you can lose a lot. So we always had this joke of saying, if we can at least make that 25 to 30% per week, then we know by the end of the month that we can take a 50% loss. And that was in Forex trading for me. I think the saving grace is a lot of the guys were focusing on 50 to 100% per week growth in Forex. And then they also had these very, very bad days where they had like a 85, 90 to a 100% loss. So when Johan came along with MTI, and they stated, well, you're looking at an average of about 10% growth on your Bitcoins. For me as a Forex trader, that is, but can't you do better? And then I looked at the model, I looked at the trading system, I looked at the bot that actually did the trading. And then I realized that maybe we've had it wrong all the time, because we are always focused on big profits in short periods, but that means big risk. And what Johan and the guys have done with the trading system is bringing the risk down to a minimal 3 to 5%. That's the risk factor that we are looking at. But by bringing the risk factor down to 3%, also means that your profit margins start coming down to what we have at this point, which is, well, say let's between a 0.4 and a 0.6% per day growth on our capital. So is it possible to do better? Absolutely. But then the risk factor goes up. And the way that Johan and the guys have actually programmed the system to do the trading is at this stage for me, looking at an investor point of view. If you look at MTI at a multi-level marketing point of view, it's a brilliant opportunity for marketing. Now, I'm not a multi-level marketer. I'm an investor. So for me, looking at MTI as an investment that will, over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years, change the way that we look at investments, number one, because now we're not looking at 5 to 10% per year anymore. We're looking at 5%, 5 to 10% per month, which gives us a compression of time. And compression of time, I think if I look at most of the faces around here, we are not, hello, how are you doing? We're looking at the faces. I see who of you have got 25 years to have your financial plan laid out and receive 5 to 10% per year. I'm not there. Sorry, I don't have the time anymore. For me, I work in 6 to 12 months investment spurts. If I don't use 6 to 12 months investment opportunities, I'm running out of time. And I still want to enjoy my life a little bit before I go. So that's one of the reasons. So looking at the compounded growth that MTI gives the Bitcoin users, the simple concept that a lot of people miss when they start talking about MTI is not the potential of earning. It's the potential of asset growth. And that asset growth, we're talking about, you put in 1 Bitcoin in MTI. within 1 year, you can have between 2 to 4 Bitcoins. That's it, plain simple. What about the price of Bitcoin? Who really cares? Because if you take your 3 Bitcoins at the end of the year, you leave it in the system, it becomes 9 Bitcoins. So if Bitcoin loses 50% of its value within the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, who cares? Your asset has grown. And that's why MTI has given us the unique opportunity to come into the asset investment world, that your asset is growing and not your capital. Because we've always been focusing on, I put 100,000 Rand in. How much profit will I make at the end of the month? Who cares? Because 100,000 Rand will be worth less than 80,000 Rand by the end of the year. That's only the South African Rand value devaluating all the time. So if we're looking at inflation, the South African Rand is the worst place to have your money in. That's why I've got all my capital I've got in either cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, 70% of my capital is in cryptocurrency, which trades for me to grow my asset base. And if I want to save some profits, I put it in gold and silver, because for me that is a safe haven for capital, because the Rand can fluctuate. Yes, gold price can also fluctuate, but the gold price in the past almost 10, 15 years have been very stable. And that's why that's a savings point for me. But you can't save if you don't have the capital. And that's why a lot of people say, I want to save. Well, if you don't have at least R1 million that you can put into gold, that means you can't save. You need to take that R1 million, put it somewhere that can work for you so that you can start saving. And we all know that old saying, you should have started saving when you turned 18. That old thing of put 50 Rand a month away, we all heard that story. But how many people actually followed that advice? And then you see the new car and you want to go buy the new car. So working in the South African Rand, or actually for that matter in any fiat currency, becomes an issue of depreciation, where cryptocurrency is a deflationary currency, meaning that every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin supplied gets less. So as the community of Bitcoin people get involved, the more people that get involved with Bitcoin, the higher the price will go. And the less Bitcoin available means that it will actually exponentially grow the price of Bitcoin within the next 18 to 24 months. Now, put that together with the growth that you get within MTI, it becomes one of those, what can I call it, no-brainers. It's either you come into MTI to solve your financial problems, or you don't. You stay outside, you stay in the financial world as it is, and you keep on going what hasn't been working for the past 40 years. That's basically the choices, that is.
Yes, thanks a million, Johan. Thanks a lot for that. Guys, I don't know if there's a question directly for Johan at the moment, because otherwise we can carry on with the questions that I've compiled, Johan, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
100%. All right, the first question that I've got on is about the safety. Now, we've been introduced to online security company and learned on a Q&A with Johan Steinberg at some time that we attended, that only he has access to the BTC funds that we put in. And then he said he plans to have a multi-signature wallet. Could you give us any feedback maybe on that? If it has been done, the multi-signature, and how is our Bitcoin being kept safe?
Okay, I know that there has been an auditor, internal auditor for a company appointed with MTI, but they have not been released to the public yet. So that announcement should come within the next 30 to 60 days. But with the internal auditing company coming in and a CFO basically that will be appointed very soon, that means that the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, will then take control of the finances and responsibility of the finances of the company. Now, what a lot of people don't understand is there's also, there's basically an inherent protection system built into the system as well. And that is the moment that the funds go over to the broker and the funds are in the broker's control, there is actually a multi-sig setup between Johan Steinberg, who's currently doing the withdrawals for the payouts, and the broker. So the broker cannot remove funds from that account without Johan Steinberg, and Johan Steinberg can remove funds from that account without the broker. So there's already a protection in place that's signed into the broker contracts.
Okay, great for that, guys. I think that answers the question. If there's anybody that wants to elaborate on that, or just expand the question, because I think Johan answered that question. It's still coming with the COO or the CFO. But if there's a six-person setup to get the funds out, I think that answers our question, guys. And everybody fine with that? All right. Then the second question I got, Johan, is going back to the last 3-4 weeks that's been going on in the media and at some stage, Johan Steinberg said that we are applying for a trading license. Can you maybe just enlighten us what is the state of the process, or where are we in that process?
Yeah, I think as everybody can understand, that if you work with regulators, you work with a very extremely volatile group of people. And I think I don't know who of you have ever stepped foot into the FSCA's offices. You've been there. George, what did you see there? Was it a Santon office with all these millions of computer screens and professional techies sitting there and all these professional people that know exactly what's going on in the world?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So the picture portrayed for the people out there on the market is the FSCA is for your protection. But they're not. Because I don't know if anybody on this call who's lost money on Steinhoff.
No, I wasn't there.
Yeah, it looks like I was the only stupid one. I lost about 2.4 million on Steinhoff. But I'm an investor. So if I'm not invested in an investment, I'm not an investor. So that's why I lost money on investment. But what did I get back from the FSCA after Steinhoff was closed? Nothing. Why not? Because they are not there to protect me. They're there to protect the banks. They're there to protect the governments, the reserve banks, and the people who pay their salaries. And who's that? That's media, number one, because they are supposed to protect the people, but they're not. So they are protecting themselves, and they're protecting the financial systems. Now, what you must understand about what we've done and what Johan Steinberg have done is, within the law of crypto that is currently not regulated, Johan was able to move our funds from a fully regulated broker to a non-regulated broker. And everybody said, but isn't that risk? I said, no, the risk was actually reduced. Why? Because as a fully regulated broker, the FSCA can at any time decide we want to go to Belize, because there is a double taxation agreement between Belize and South Africa that was set up in the past couple of months, by the way. And that agreement then puts the FSCA and the Reserve Bank in the position where they can get a court order, and they can take that court order to Belize, and they can freeze any account in Belize, whether it's crypto or not. So Johan had the foresight, after talking to the FSCA the first time, Johan had the foresight to actually go and remove the funds piece by piece from the brokerage and put it into a non-regulated broker. So the second time they walked into the FSCA, and did a full disclosure of everything. The FSCA has seen more than all the members of MTI, because there are some things that we just cannot show the members, because there's some clever members in MTI that will be able to take the system that they're using and duplicate it. So there is some things that we can't show. But this full disclosure was done to the FSCA. And then the FSCA asked, but why did you change broker? And Johan said, it's to protect my members. Because exactly 2 weeks after Johan said that, they did exactly what they said they were, what we expected them to do. And that application was put in 4 weeks in advance. They froze the accounts in Belize. So there is a small portion of Johan's coins, personal coins, that are still in Belize, and that's frozen. But the funds that are now in the unregulated broker, they did try. The FSCA did phone the broker. But the broker said, we've got no agreement with you. Our client is MTI. And MTI is the only person that can tell us what to do. Either give members of the lists of members, which they requested, but the broker said, we can't give that to you because you are not our client. And that was one thing that the FSCA was not very happy about, because suddenly they lost control of 3 billion rands worth of investment, which they thought they had control over. So that's one reason why they were a little bit upset. That's one reason why they told people, I'll take your money out. But as I spoke to one of the guys from the FSCA, I said, you know, you made a little error in your statement. You said, take your money out. I said, we don't work with fiat currencies. We work only in Bitcoin. So you should have said in your statement, take your Bitcoins out. And his answer to me was, yeah, but I can't. I said, why not? He says, because we don't regulate Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, 100% for that.
So getting back to the final, the licensing to trade is now one part that needs to be basically put in place under certain conditions that will be agreed upon between the FSCA and MTI. And if MTI is not happy with the agreement, they will not do it. They will find other ways. So MTI's main focus is protecting the funds firstly, and the income of the MTI members. That is the absolute main focus of what MTI does. So whether MTI gets the license or not, MTI will focus on the protection of its members' funds at all times and at all costs.
Okay, thanks for that, Johan. That answers that question. And my next question was about the FSCA. And we know there was a lot going on about this, and I think you partly answered the question that I wanted to ask here is, can the FSCA, number one, close MTI, and number two, freeze our funds? So this was you partly answered it in the previous answer, but maybe you can just elaborate a bit on that, because that's a direct question that came from a lot of people in our team, if you may, please.
Okay, can the FSCA close MTI? They can close the PTY Limited. Yes, they can. But because the funds, both the funds, the trading and everything that happens within MTI for the members is outside South Africa, and the funds are fully in cryptocurrencies, no court will assign an order to close down MTI, because that means that they will actually be breaching into unregulated space. And that's one thing that we are very lucky to be able to say is the regulated space is a very regulated area, and you need to keep within those walls. You know the old saying, if you get accused of committing a crime, all that you need is one person to place doubt and you are free. And that's it, plain and simple. So in any law system, they can place doubt in any way by just saying one thing, and that is Bitcoin.
Okay, 100%, guys. I think that answers the question. Is there anybody that wants to just, elaborate on that question? Otherwise, we can step down the FSCA. I'm 100% for what we are doing. So if there's anybody else that's got a doubt in his mind, can you please ask the question or just elaborate on what we asked?
George, maybe I've got a question. It's maybe not too relevant, but môre Johan, welkom by ons. Baie dankie vir jou tyd. Johan, in any business, in any corporation, or call it what you want, there's a weak link, and we always go back, and especially when you do due diligence, and we look at MTI, we look at the members, we look at the owner, the owner and the corporate governance, and we look at the traders, and this whole MTI system that we are involved in. What do you see as the weakest link? Because that's where anything can go wrong, or everything will go wrong. But what do you see as the weakest link in this whole process? And that's why I got involved in MTI. I went out and I tried to analyze this whole system and see where is the weakest link, and I couldn't really find the weakest link. But in your view, where do you think is the weakest link in this whole MTI system?
Okay, now this is going to be a personal answer and not a response from MTI. Please.
Of course.
So,
of course.
What I'm saying now will not be in line with what MTI is promoting. So please understand what I'm saying now is because I'm an investor. I'm not a multi-level marketer, but because I'm an investor, the weakest link for me is the exposure on social media. Number one, allowing people to place any type of anything on social media is for me the worst thing that any company can do, because that's where you are basically scrutinized by the authorities. Because there are still people living in the dream world that everything I say on Facebook is private. It's not. It's public knowledge. And for those guys who go out on Facebook and say, I just bought myself a 4 million rand car, I just bought myself this type of vehicle or this, guys, there is something in SARS that they call a lifestyle audit. And a lifestyle audit means they look at all your social media to determine how many times have you gone overseas. What type of car are you driving? Where did you get it? Where did you buy it? All that type of things. And then also the thing that a lot of people don't understand, and this happened to a friend of mine. We had a court case a while ago to try and get him free from it. He was lucky, but he posted on his social media that his dad gave him a car of 1.2 million rand. 4 weeks later, his dad passed away. And SARS came back to him and said, but that was a gift. And you will have to pay taxes on 1.1 million because you're only allowed to have 100,000 rand as a gift. It cost him about 120,000 rand, but he got out of it. And that's the type of thing that I tell people always. Social media is to look at other people's dumb things, not to put your own there. So for me, social media is the absolute Achilles heel of mirror trading. Now, because they've started so early on social media, it's like trying to keep the sea back with a broom at this stage. So the social media is there, it's there. Now it needs to be contained. And I'm very happy to say that Sherry Marks, Clinton and the team are working very diligently to limit the amount of social exposure that we are getting at this stage. Limiting the amount of things the people say. There's guys that go out there and say, listen, you can make 300% per year with MTI. Now, those guys, the moment that media statements get out, MTI actually goes in, they freeze those people's accounts. Then we have a negotiation with them. And then the moment they remove that type of statements, then they can continue with the marketing method. But that's one thing that I must say. I know there's a lot of people that say out there, yeah, but you know, Sherry has got a bad name in the market. Let's put it this way. I've been in 20 different network marketing companies. 18 of them turned out to be either scams or the owner was just looking for a reason to get some money and get lost. 18 of the 20. The other two, if I can maybe call the names, was Amway and Herbalife. That's the only two that I was involved with that's actually still going. But all the other companies folded. Now, as network marketers, if you are involved with one project and people lose their money, does it make you the owner of that company? No. So we've all, as network marketers, have had a bad rap. And that's why I stepped out of network marketing between, well, almost 3 years ago. Because I said, if something says multi-level marketing or something marketing, I'm out. I'm not interested. MTI was the first system that I got involved with because the marketing system is a single level referral marketing and not a multi-level marketing. So you refer one person and you'll get a bonus from the company. But if the guy above you signs up somebody below you, there is no benefit directly to you. The benefit then becomes profit sharing. So again, if there's no profit, there's no sharing. So plain and simple, with the model that MTI put together, and now I must tell you the other thing is, Clinton Marks, his name is also mentioned with Sherry of being involved with different, I was also in BTC Global. I also lost money in BTC Global. But at the end of the day, Clinton Marks was the guy that put together the most amazing compensation plan that we are enjoying. And there's not one guy on this call that won't tell me they're enjoying this compensation plan. It's a single level referral marketing system. And at the end of the day, but because the name marketing is involved, that's where the problem comes in. Because if you walk into the FSCA and you say marketing and there's people involved, they call it direct selling. Now, we're not direct selling. If I tell you that there's a good steak at a restaurant around the corner, I'm not selling the company to you. I'm offering you the opportunity to share in my delight. And that's exactly what MTI is. Everybody I tell about MTI is I want to either help you out of the crap that you're in, because, I mean, how many people on this call can tell me that there's nobody around them that needs financial assistance? Everybody needs it. And that's what MTI offers us. And working with Johan so closely, I'm on the tier 3 support structures. I'm working with him in different levels. The corporate structure in the center is still busy. They're still working on expanding the company. But the corporate structure will basically keep the company running. But with Johan Steinberg as the CEO, firstly, and secondly, the visionary of, I want to help people. Because Johan doesn't really need money. I can promise you that. He doesn't need money. So he doesn't need MTI to make him rich. He's already there. Johan needs MTI to fulfill a dream that he had, that he wants to be the guy that brings a solution for everybody in the world. And for me, that's why I'm there.
I think that answers your question, Johan.
Yeah, baie dankie, Johan. Waardeer.
All right, thanks, Johan. The next question that I've got on Johan, is since we moved from Forex to crypto, our return seems a little bit lower. What is your views on this going forward? I know you're a trader and you know this line of stuff. So maybe you can give us some good info on this, please, man.
Yeah, to be very honest with you, I stepped from Forex trading to crypto trading at one stage, and I did it for about 8 months, and it was the biggest losing 8 months of my life, because it's an extremely difficult market to trade in. Remember, as you can see in the back office on the reports, if you look at Forex trading is always comparing two currencies. So you either buy one currency so that it can become stronger against the other currency, or you sell it so it can become weaker against the other currency. That's how the Forex market works. But if you work in the cryptocurrency market, the trading become actually asset purchasing, because you buying Bitcoins and you're selling Bitcoins. So if I say Bitcoin's price is going down, then I'm selling my Bitcoin at a certain point with a certain end transaction in mind. So if the price does not go down and the price goes up, it means I lose. So it becomes a buying and selling. Now, this is the first part. So the movement cannot be, as we say, hedged with different currencies as we can do in Forex trading. In Forex trading, we can hedge different currencies against each other, because if the Japanese yen goes down, we can actually got 3 or 4 or 5 other currencies that can go up against it. And that's why you can play on the Forex market much easier with this type of trading. But when it comes to crypto trading, it becomes a directional trading. So you decide which direction the price of Bitcoin will go, and that will be your direction for the next couple of hours or minutes or days even. Also on the Forex markets, your spreads are much higher than on on the crypto market. Your spreads are much higher than on your Forex markets. And that means that basically the moment that you place a trade to say go up, the actual spread that comes in above means that you have already lost the trade. You now need to catch up and then get past the point of where the spread was before you start making profit. So if you see that we've got 60% of the trades running into profit, now to do that on Forex, it's easy, because you can hedge. But to do that in crypto is much more difficult. And with the results that we are getting even now, I mean, I must say it's better than I could have ever done in my crypto trading. There are guys that's doing it better, but I feel with the amount of risk that MTI puts into the trades, I'm extremely happy with the quality and the quantity of growth that we are getting at this stage. As they continue with their Forex trading, the system will enhance and get better. The risk will get smaller and the profits will get better, because the system is now learning itself. The programmers are literally programming the new statistics into the system all the time to better the trades for us. So it may be a quiet time, but if the Forex license comes through, then we can go back to Forex, but Johan will never stop trading on the crypto markets.
Okay, now thanks for that. Tony Bernardi, I think that was one of the questions you had. I hope that answered your question. Thanks for that, Johan.
Thank
right.
You. George, maybe can I just ask another question, Johan? Sorry, man. They said right in the beginning that there's a possibility that we go 7 days a week. Will that happen sometime or not, or maybe later?
Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
But again, watching the markets, when I traded my Forex, my biggest losses were over weekends. Because of the spreads, this is also very important. The moment the volatility of the currency goes down, the spread goes up. Now, if volatility goes down, it means there's not this big movements. And if the big movements are not there, if you place a trade and let's call it the spread is higher and it starts doing this, it means that you've got the risk of never actually reaching the spread before you can start making profit. So currently looking at the volumes over weekends on crypto, Johan will decide when it's safe to move forward. But that's one thing I can tell you. Johan will not risk more than ever is needed.
Makes sense. Thanks, Johan.
Okay, 100%. Thanks for that. Then the next is actually not a question. I think it's a request, Johan. There was a lot of requests from people that can MTI not put the names and pictures of the management on the website because it's not there. We can't see, for instance, what is your position in the company, what are you doing, how do you look like? And there's a lot of people, especially big investors and the auditor types and those type of guys, they want to see who's the people involved. So it's actually only a request. It's not a question. So I'm just asking, you can maybe take it to the top and see if that can be done.
Well, if you log into your back office and you go to announcements, I think it was the 7th, 8th of August, there was a corporate announcement with the CEO's letter that he's got the picture of all the board members and everybody that was involved with that on that. Now, the reason why you won't see me on there is I'm basically just a consultant to the company. I did not want to be on the board of the company because that makes me partial. I don't want to be partial. I want to be totally impartial so that I can give my honest opinion to Johan and the board of what's happening. Remember, when you are in the boat, you cannot tell the guys about the hole in the boat. When you're outside the boat, you can tell the guys inside the boat there's a hole, and then they can fix it. And that's why I decided I do not want to be on the board. I'm absolutely willing to stay on the outside as an investor and stay on the outside as a onlooker to the boat and see the boat where it is and how they are driving it.
Okay, 100%. Thank you. I missed that, so I must admit I didn't see that, but I will have a look again. All right. The next thing I've got, it's actually, I don't know, it's a management communication problem because I'm asking if it's not possible for leaders like ourselves that's on the group here now, or that has teams to communicate to, get info on changes in the company before it gets put out on social media or on. And I see you're laughing and you're smiling because I think you know what I'm talking about. Because
Exactly.
now Dion comes here and says, George, what the hell is this now? What? And I haven't got the faintest idea to answer this guy. So
Yep.
This is the stuff that is happening. When are you classified as a team leader? And I know they got this team, the Toro, Bravo, what, but that means nothing to us because we've got teams and we have to guide these teams and we have to give them information. Now an upline sends me a downline sends me something as his upline. I've got a team of over 2,000 people and a downline sends me stuff which was actually supposed to come from the top, if I'm correct. That's how a business works. So I don't know how you're going to answer this because I don't know if this can be taken to the top.
Yeah, this is one of my concerns as well. I'm extremely lucky to be in a direct leaders group with Clinton and the guys, and any information that comes into that specific group, sometimes we get a notice to say not to be shared, and then we can have a notice to be shared. The problem that you've got again with multi-level marketing and the marketing industry is if you want to spread news, you give it to one marketer and the entire world will know. So I think they are just trying to sensitize the information so that when information becomes available, it must be spread in the correct way. And at this stage, what they decided to do is to announce it to the entire company at the same time. So there's actually on the leadership group, and that I can tell you now, there's not much information that we get there. It's most of the leaders that are on there are guys that bring proposals to the table, and it goes directly to the board. The board decides, and it's either a yay or nay, and there we go. So I think with the company, as we're still in its infant stage, that will eventually will grow. And I think what you just need to do, George, is look at who's your sponsor and who is his sponsor or her sponsor. So try to find your direct upline as far as possible to the top, and make sure that you are in a group with them, because most of the top if I say top, it's both volume of people, volume of Bitcoin, and personal investment. Because I know I know about one guy he's got 3,800 people in his entire team, which is quite enormous, but he's only got $250 invested. Now, is he a leader? No, he's leading a group of networkers, but he's not an investor in the company. And so then he falls out of that category. So if he's not in that category, and the ranking system, I must be honest with you, I still don't know exactly what it's for and how it's going to be used. But at the end of the day, if I look at it in this way, is the ranking system will maybe be used to qualify certain members for certain groups that they can maybe allocated to. So for me personally, I'm a equal opportunity type of person. So I believe everybody has the chance to be anybody and everybody that they want to be. And that's why I don't put labels on people. But putting a label on somebody in a business structure is a marketing strategy. And if they can use it in the future to for instance, have better communication with groups and people, then I'll say absolutely, absolutely, that will be a brilliant idea. So let's see what they do within the next, I want to say 2 to 3 months, because I know the auditing results will come out within the next 2 to 3 months. The CIPC auditing will be, the company's auditors are almost done with, I think they said about 95% done with the audit of the company's books. So that is a plain and simple thing of let's give them a little bit of chance, because what you must remember is most of the board members that are on there, they step into quite a big world, but what they've got behind them is absolutely some of the best mentors in the industry. People like Tom Fraser. I've met Tom personally. I've worked with him. I've laughed with him. I share some songs with him. He's a brilliant singer. But he's a brilliant, absolute brilliant business mind. Now, Tom is not part of the MTI corporate structure. You will see him on the picture on the right-hand side. You'll see him sitting there. But he's not part of the corporate structure because, again, he's sitting like me on the outside to tell the guys, listen, I see a hole forming. We need to patch the hole and we need to get it fixed. So he's sitting on the outside mentoring the leadership, the corporate governance people to actually get to the point where this company has a survival rate of 25 to 50 years.
Oh, no, 100%. Thanks for that, John. No, my upline is on the call as well. And his upline, I don't know, I don't think he's on the call, but we arranged our total upline, if I can call it like that, is Rich Simmons. So we're in Rich Simmons' team. So okay. We had Rich on as well. So maybe we must try and sort this out with Rich. I think he's on the top tiers as well. So
no, Rich is on that leadership group. So yeah. What I'd recommend for you guys to do is, and that's exactly what was suggested on that leadership group is, we cannot add all the leaders, the sub leaders on the main group. So talk to Rich, ask Rich about his leadership group, and join that leadership group.
I think that's the way, just by way of answering that as well. Then my last question, Johan, from my side, and there's still about 10 minutes left. We said an hour. Is why did the P2P change to 7 days? I mean, we have still got no reasons.
Okay. Again, guys, what I'm going to say now is internal information. Somebody asked me about 2 weeks ago, he says, is MTI 100% safe? I said, MTI is only as safe as how the members keep it safe. Now, there is a possibility that if somebody gets your email address, that they can hack into the system. It's actually not even hacking. If they hack into your email address, they use your email address, they can withdraw your funds, they can P2P your funds, and before you even realize it, that those funds are gone. Now, understanding what's happening in the background is the following. You load Outlook on your PC to download your email from Gmail, for instance. Your email goes to Gmail first. It's on the web there. And when you switch on your PC, then your PC, through a pop or something, requests the mail to be downloaded. Now, what the hackers do is they log into your website. They sit on the website and they intercept the mails before it reaches you. So what happens is they break into your mail. If you don't have second factor authentication on your account, they can go into your account, do a withdrawal, confirm the withdrawal, and by the time that you log back into your account, your Bitcoins are gone. So what we've stopped is, Johan has now stopped the guys from doing that. If there's any changes on the account, an email change, a password change, a second factor added, because now this is also what the guys do. They hack into your mail, they log into your account, they first request the reset of your password. So then you reset your password, or they reset your password. Now you can't get into your account. But by that time, they've put a second factor on your account. Now, if the rule was that if second factor was applied on your account that you can withdraw your funds are gone again. So that's why the second factor movement of funds were blocked, firstly, because now they log into your account, they put on second factor, and then they P2P the funds to a different account. They P2P it from there to 3 or 4 accounts, and they withdraw the 3 or 4 accounts. And that's why the FICA implementation will be so important in the future now for us within the next couple of weeks. Because with FICA, you cannot just open 10 accounts and move money around. So you must understand that any financial system is under pressure of attacks. And it's not the company that's been attacked. It's the people that do not verify their own email addresses. I mean, ask the question on here, how many of the people on this call have got second factor authentication on their Gmail accounts? No, there's one. No. You see what I'm saying? You need second factor authentication on your Gmail account. You need second factor authentication on your MTI account. I mean, you've got it on your bank account. Why not on your biggest investment?
Okay, now you see, Johan, that was one of the things that happened. Now the P2P thing just changes, but nobody gives us a reason. So the reason makes sense. So if we could have communicated the reason before we had the implementation, it would have made much more sense. You understand? Now you've got a lot of questions from a lot of downline people. What the hell? What's going on? You understand what I'm saying? So. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks, Johan. That answers that question. I'm finished with questions that I compiled out of people that asked me. So there's about 6 minutes left before the top of the hour. So I don't know if there's anybody else that would like to ask a question straight to Johan.
George, morning. Yes, Johan, thank you very much for being online. I just want to know, we spoke about the brokerage in your first answer and question answer. I just want to confirm JP Markets, offshore company not regulated by FSCA. Yesterday, there was news in the market about them being liquidated by the FSCA. Just a question on the brokerage. I don't want to know who it is, but are you happy with obviously Johan is happy with the brokerage and stuff like that, that MTI is using. Just to something like that won't happen with the brokerage we're using? Just a question.
Number one, no, it can't happen. There's no way that the FSCA can give any type of authoritative decision to the broker. That's why Johan moved it there. The specific country that this broker is situated in is a 100% cryptocurrency enhanced country, meaning that you can open a business in that country, running your entire business tax-free on cryptocurrencies. So that is one of the main reasons why Johan moved it into that country, because that country has severed all financial, what can you call it, relations with the rest of the world, because they are a cryptocurrency country. And in that sense, the FSCA doesn't have any authority in that country. And what the broker is concerned, I had a conversation with Johan, and there was a discussion of who the broker is, and I told Johan, please stop. I don't want to know. I don't want to know, because if I don't know, then I don't have to tell people that I know. And that's why I said I do not want to know. I want to know the next questions. Is it a AAA broker? Yes, it is. Is it an A-book trader on that broker? I said, yes, it is. And the third question is, do you have multi-sig control between you and the broker? Yes, they do. And then I was happy. Because those are the three questions. If I want to start trading on any brokerage, that's the three questions I ask. Now, looking at JP Markets, were they a AAA broker? No, they weren't. Were they an A-book trader? No, they weren't. And that's the first two questions that, if those two is answered in the negative, I wouldn't trade there. Never in my life.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anton.
Johan, you answered one of my questions without asking it. My next question was, what is the possibility of MTI being their own broker? With the trading license, they can do their own trading. But now, again, if they are in South Africa, the FSCA might just step in and close us down. So I think that, what is your view on that?
Yeah, I think understanding there's two different points that you need to understand. The first is brokerage, liquidity providers for the brokerage, and then there is the traders, the actual people who does the trading on the brokerage, and that is us. So to get a broker license is not difficult. Anybody can get a broker license, but to be able to get to a AAA status takes many years. So in the future, maybe, we don't know, but let's see how this broker treats us, and who knows what will happen in the future.
Thank you, Johan.
Thanks, Johan. And Dion Bernardi still got a question. He's got his hand up. Dion, open your mic.
Thanks, George. Thanks, Johan, for taking our questions. Just one quick one. What's the chance of us moving or having the functionality to also have the base currency as Ethereum or Litecoin or whatever?
That is in discussion, and I know that Johan, early in February, March, they were running a couple of simulations to try and see, but it looks like they have to rewrite the entire trading bot to actually be able to trade the other currencies due to the specific settings and the market movement of the other currencies. So that's why it is in progress. And I believe that within the next 12 months or so, we will definitely have those options available. But for now, and that's also what I told one of my broker friends, I said, that's what makes Bitcoin actually so amazing, is that you can take a Forex trading bot that works on the US dollar or the euro, and you can switch it over to a Bitcoin trading bot with Bitcoin as the base currency. And that is how far Bitcoin has come to become a fully fledged currency. That's how stable it's become.
Awesome. Thank you, Johan. Just another small one. You know those detailed reports underneath your levels and your members, when will that be turned?
Yeah, at this stage, with the exponential growth that that MTI is experiencing, not was, but is experiencing, what the problem is behind it is the algorithm that's used to search in those databases is SQL. So what happens is, if a guy at the bottom that's got 20 or 30 people runs the report, it runs within a few seconds. But if one of the top guys in the system that's got like 45, 50 or 60,000 people under his system, the moment he presses that little button, it means that he's now pulling the entire database to his personal use. And that takes up a lot of time, and it takes a lot of processing time. So Johan and the guys are working at a different way of pulling the report that will be maybe an updated hourly or a daily updated report. So if you update the report, if it updates, for instance, at 1 o'clock this morning, it means that it will only be updated the next day, 1 o'clock again. But within that day, that report will be available for you in like an, let's call it an offline mode, so that you can see the structures under you.
Awesome, thank you.
But that is in development. There's just a couple of things that's a little more important, like the security, the safety of the Bitcoins. That's the most important part. Secondly, getting the thicker part brought into the system. And then thirdly, getting enough people with access that can do high level, like our tier 3 group. He's still busy finalizing the tier 3 programming to give us high level access into some of the things for investigations and assisting the people directly with. It's some task that only Johan Steinberg had until now. So he's passing those responsibilities down to the tier 3 and tier 4 guys within the next couple of weeks. And after that, I think it will go a little faster.
Okay, John, I hope that answers you. Johan, we're on the top of the hour, and I promise you we will only be an hour. So from my side and from the team side, a big thank you for valuable information. All the guys that on the chat group, they said thank you very much for valuable information, and thank you for attending our webinar this morning. I appreciate that from Top Structure to come in on and help us with this. So everything for the best forward. I know you're in Johannesburg and you're actually from Cape Town, so have a safe flight home. If you're flying, if you're driving, do drive safe as well. So just from all of us, thank you very much, and give our regards to the boss and tell him we are happy with what we have. I think everybody loves the system. All right, so thank you very much, Johan.
George, can I just ask you, please, I see you did make a recording of it. Can you please just send me a copy of the recording?
I will do it on your WhatsApp, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Very much. Thank you,
all
guys.
Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you very much. We can end the meeting now. Thank you very much. Thank you, Johan. Bye, guys.
Thanks, George. Thanks, Johan. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, George. That's Johan.
Bye, George. Bye, Johan.
Thanks, George. Bye, Johan. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.